Nice way to start on that crappie. You know, when you've got clear water and clear ice, those can be some of the most difficult conditions when you're ice fishing. Today we're going to show you some tips and some tweaks and an array of different lures to make sure you are more successful when facing these conditions. Don't miss this show.
Spot. Gonna dive into the water if it gets too hot.
Watched him come up for it. Watched him come up for it. That might be a little better one there. Oh yeah. Come on, man. That's a nice bluegill. That's a nice bluegill there. I'm going to show you this little mustache jig. There's no doubt that it's a little tough right now. That's why they call it a mustache jig. You can see it does. It looks like he needs a shave, right? So put that bluegill back in there. When this ice is so clear out here, and we got about 5.5 inches of it, but the water is clear and the ice is clear. And so moving around a lot we've had a friend of ours out here with like a Humminbird 360, and if you go drill other holes, that school just starts to disappear. So what we've been doing is just trying to find areas where we catch a couple fish, and then we just stay for a while, and these schools are just moving around. But even I'm catching fish right now in about 15-16 foot of water. And if you move around too much, it's like they can see you. I really do think they can see as deep as we're fishing right now. So just staying still for right now, letting the schools swim through, and then we're using really, really small lures. Hey, let's go back to the studio, and I'm going to show you some of my favorite ice fishing lures when times get tough. Both Rapala and VMC have an outstanding selection of ice fishing lures. Some of the standouts for me have been the tungsten fly jig, which is an exceptional lure on stocked rainbow trout below the ice, the hot skirt glow jig, the jig and wrap, and the jig and shad wrap. The tubby jig has been a great fish catcher for me, especially when the bite is tough. But I'm going to show you how to make it just a little bit better. The little plastic that comes on here is extremely effective at attracting fish, but once in a while when you set the hook and you miss a fish, the plastic can stand up like this, and then to me the jig loses some of its effectiveness. So all I've ended up doing is turning the bait over and pulling the plastic down a little bit, and then I take some Loctite and I just put a little bit of the Loctite right there on the collar, and then I'm going to take the head of the tubby jig and push the plastic up and hold it there for about 10 seconds. Once you do that, you can then set the jig down. The glue sticks right there, and now that plastic will never move. It will be in that effective position for as long as you fish the jig. Man, he hammered that thing. It's so cool seeing him through that ice. Another nice bluegill. Yeah, another nice bluegill. That is just so much fun. That is so much fun. Oh, back in there. This water is just so clear. You guys can see them coming up through the ice, and that's why I said one of the things we do is once we sit in a spot, these schools are just moving around. So on this clear ice like this, sometimes I just stay. The key to being successful in ice fishing, one of them is being mobile. But sometimes when the ice and the water is this clear, sometimes you just got to sit a little bit and wait it out. And that's why dropping down to real light line, I'm using Suffolk's 4-pound ice and this real small tubby jig. Sometimes just using small baits like that are going to bring those fish to you. I usually do real aggressive movement, moving the bait up and down just to get them in the screen. Once I start seeing them there, then I really slow down and I'm actually just tapping the rod tip like that to make that bait just move a little bit, and that seems to be triggering them. He hit that one. That's a better fish there. Oh man, that was fun. That was fun. Look how clear that water is. You can see him underneath. That's a nice bluegill, man. Look at that one. We switched up to just a little bit more aggressive fall, and I'm going to show you the bait that I'm using here. This is neat. That's a really nice bluegill there. This is VMC's tubby jig. And I went from 1/32 to a 1/16 ounce in that faster fall. The nice, really seemed to trigger them, and they came right up to it. But it's got a real nice horizontal presentation on there, and it's just a little B&T plastic on the back. But that's been a really, really good producer for us this year, that long tail. And lime green, you can never go wrong with lime green. Plus, this is a glow head, so putting it in that little glow box, it really makes it stand out there. Another great product from Rapala is a pocket-sized mini charging glow. Simply insert one of the Ultra Gold lures into the box, close the cover, press the charge light on the side, open the box up, and it glows. This segment of Jim Crowley Outdoors is brought to you by these and other fine sponsors. That's what's doing it now. Look at those bluegills are eating it good now. They're eating it good now. It's so much fun catching those like that. There you go. Oh, that's fun. I've always said that it doesn't matter if they're big. We get on some big fish, that'll be fine. But in the winter months like this, I still think that ice fishing is one of the best ways when you get it figured out to catch 100 fish a day, because it's so much fun. And I'll tell you what's really fun. We've done a couple episodes this year, and this is just one of the ice rods that I built, and it's so cool being able to catch fish on a rod that you made and putting it together. It's just a whole lot of fun. Get 2 or 3 out of there, and then they just shut down for a little bit. Oh, that's a good one there. Whatever that is, that's good. Holy cow, did he hammer that? Did he hammer that? Come on, you. That is a nice bluegill. Look at that one there. Those are the kind we could stand all day. What a difference. You can tell. Oh, these things are pretty. You can tell how hard he hit that. And you're catching bluegills like that all day. That is just fun. Just absolutely beautiful fish. One of my absolute favorite ones to catch to the ice. Now we're getting those bluegills to bite really good. Look at this one. Yeah. That is a beauty right there. Man, this is fun. Now we're finally starting to find some of those bigger bluegills. Look at that beautiful thing right there. I'll tell you what, that tubby jig is definitely on my Christmas list. I love that. Yeah, these are definitely the bigger bluegills we've been looking for. That's better. That's better. Just took a little bit to find him. Come on. Ooh, here he comes. Now we're talking. Man, if we were keeping these today, that'd be that'd be a bunch of fun. Woo! Just took a little bit, as usual, of moving around to find them, and now we're catching better than average sized bluegills. You know what's really cool about ice fishing too is this is a really good thing to take your kids when ice is safe. Now we were out here with a couple guys today, and we have 5.5 inches of ice. I don't like going out on ice that's less than 4.5 inches. 5.5 to 6 inches is good solid ice. This is the SOS suit from Strike Master, and what the SOS stands for is stay on surface. And this is Strike Master's new flotation suit. I feel 100% comfortable. It's insulated, it's extremely warm, great knee pads on here for kneeling down in the ice. But I know if something goes wrong, this suit is going to give me more and a better chance of survival because of the way this thing is designed. When you go out ice fishing, it's a lot of fun, but safety is the first thing. You know what? You're not going to lose your life over a fish on 2 or 3 inches of ice. Make sure that it's safe, and always go with at least one other person. Because when you get on the fish and it's a lot of fun, it's fun for everybody. You're safe, and who knows, you even bring home a big bucket of fish. This segment of Jim Crowley Outdoors is brought to you by these and other fine sponsors. Trick that one in the bite. That's a big fish there. Man, they're just sitting right on that bottom in 20 foot. just gotta shake it, and there you go. And that's a little guy. Man, as hard as he hit that thing, look at that. I don't know what he was thinking, but as hard as he hit that thing, I thought he's a lot bigger than that, but they're still fun. When you're still catching them 20 foot deep, that's still fun. Hard. Yeah. There you go. That is so much fun. You just have to shake that thing today and shake it. That's a nicer bluegill there. Yeah, come here. Yeah. If you're going to keep these are some of the best eaten bluegills right now in this cold water. If you were going to keep those, and I'm going to show you a little trick on this tubby jig. Is weighted really good. The hook eye, if you can see this here, is in the center of the head, and it's tungsten, and so that keeps it most of the time real horizontal. And I've learned over the years that especially when the bite is tough, a lot of times on a presentation like this, it really helps to keep that bait more horizontal and just sitting there and just barely quivering that bait. And that's just what we have to do today. Hopefully we'll get into a couple big fish, but that's definitely been the key, is taking this heavier jig, moving it up and down to attract fish to it, and then just holding it there and just quivering that bait. But it being horizontal like that, if you're not getting bit and you're using lures like this, check your knot once in a while and try to tighten that knot as tight as you can on the very top of where the line tie is right there. Your bait will stay a lot more horizontal. There's no doubt you will get bit more. Right here. Come on. There's one sitting right there. He is right there. And that's just what you got to do, is sit there and just shake it in place. And here it comes. Yeah. And just sit there and shake it in place, and they eventually just go for it. I'll tell you what, that little jig is impressive. I really like it. And you can feel, since it's tungsten, they even breathe on it. You're gonna feel it. And this water's so clear, I dropped down to 4-pound line just to get these fish to bite, but it seems to be working. One's right there. There he is. Oh man, that's pulling some drag. Nice bluegill there. There we go. That's what we're looking for. That's a better one. I'll tell you what, they're not. It's hard to get them. Like we said, we knew this was going to be a tough one in this clear water, and dropping down to these really tiny baits. And that is what fishing is a lot of times. Doesn't matter if we're in open water or ice fishing. Fish hit for two reasons. One, because they're hungry, and two, out of reflex. And so that's what we're having to fish these baits today, is shaking them real quick, letting them sit there, shaking them real quick, letting them sit, and then all of a sudden it just makes them react. And when a tough bite, that's why I've always said baits like jigs, like jerk baits, things like that, where you can get a reaction out of the fish, are going to be the baits that are going to get you the tough bites on, or are going to get you bites on a tough day. Today is a tough day. Sitting there shaking that bait and then just dead sticking it, they come right up to it and they can't stand it. just have to shake it and let it, and then dead stick it. There you go. There you go. That's better. The other nice thing about ice fishing too is that in the off season like this, that's a really nice bluegill there. It really puts you in tune for that bite in open water, because sometimes that bass bite, that walleye bite can be really tough. And ice fishing is not only a whole heck of a lot of fun, it's a great tune-up for open water, because you're paying a lot more attention to that light bite. And you know what? I don't mind sometimes when it's tough if you figure it out. And that's what a lot of fishing is all the time anyway. It's just pieces of the puzzle, putting one piece together at a time. And when it starts working out, that's when it gets good. Man, talk about really having to, nice bluegill there, really having to tease them. Man. Come here. There you go. Oh, that's a good one too. Man, did he hammer that thing? Just sitting there and being persistent and barely shaking it. Yeah. Ooh, there we go. Look how pretty that thing is. Oh my goodness. Is that a good looking bluegill right there? Oh yeah. When they're bigger in your hand, This has been a... Oh man, they ate that one good. There you go. Cool. Now we're putting it together. That did it. You couldn't stand that when I shook it that way, could you? There, you couldn't stand that. There you go. You talk about just sitting there. I'm going to show you guys something here, how we're making these bite. I'm going to put it right in the hole here and basically just show you what I'm doing with the rod tip. Because there's no doubt today it's tough, but we're getting some nice ones to bite. But I'm literally just sitting on the rod tip right there, and I'm tapping the rod. And that's all I'm making that bait do, is just shake like that. And then I'll let it sit, tap the rod again and do that. And usually right after I get done, stop, boom, is when they hit it. But that's how light that bite is. But sometimes in really clear water, and when the bite is tough, a little movement can get you a lot of action. Oh, another nice bluegill. Look at that one. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. You can catch them like that all day. This has been just great. This has just been great. Another big one. Look at that thing. Cool. See you, buddy. There we go. He was really deep. Whoa. Hey, look at that, a little bass. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Come here. Come here, come here, come here, come here. That's cool. That is cool. Those little hooks are so sharp on there. Look at that. We hold them really close, just really close. Building my own ice rods was challenging, but it was a lot of fun because I could do exactly what I wanted to do. Now, one of the rods I've been using this year is this one that I made right here with a split grip. It's kind of cool. And I wanted it for jigging wraps, jigging shad wraps, and spoons. And so this one I made with more of a parabolic bend. What does that mean? That means that there's more of a bend throughout the entire blank. And it really helps give good action to lures like those jigging wraps and those spoons. Now, when I'm using a lure like a jigging wrap or a jigging shad wrap, I'll always put a swivel, probably about a foot, maybe 14 inches up the line, just a little black swivel, and that really helps alleviate line twists. You spend a lot more time fishing and a lot less time with your lure spinning around, which is not a real attractive quality in these baits. So that swivel really keeps that from happening. Now with this rod, I also built a little piece of EVA right in the front here where I can hook my lures. And it's nice. Again, building your own stuff is great because you can make exactly what you want. And how did I do it? Well, as always, I went to Lure Parts Online, and they have a wide variety of components. So I picked the American Tackle components that I wanted, and that was the first split grip rod that I did. It's been very, very effective for me and pretty cool because I built it and you catch fish on it. Now, the other rod that you've been seeing me use a lot this season, and I'm probably going to build another one of these. I really, really like it. This is just a small little panfish rod. I've used it for perch, crappie, bluegills, things like that. And this is just a little 22-inch rod blank. I have a blank through right here on the reel seat, goes all the way to the end. This has got a great little action for very small lures. As you can see, it's got a really fast tip, but yet there's a lot of backbone. You saw that reeling in those bluegills today. Now in this setup, I'm using 4-pound line. On the jig and wrap, I'm using 6-pound line, and it's Suffix ice line. It's very abrasion resistant, and it's really supple in extremely cold water. I'm really impressed with this line. It's really done a great job. Even with those bluegills spinning around that ice hole, you think occasionally that line would fray, and I checked it numerous times today and it didn't. I really like the line. It comes off the reel extremely easy, and again, like I said, it's really supple and really abrasion resistant. Just good stuff. So these are the setups that I've used all year, and building these stuff my own, it's been a lot of fun. Hey, it's always fun catching fish, but it's even better when you build the stuff your own. Trust me, if I can do it, so can you. Let's go catch a couple more fish. Oh, another nice bluegill. Look at that one. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. You can catch them like that all day. This has been just great. This has just been great. Another big one. Look at that thing. Cool. There you go. Ooh, that was pulling drag. That was fun. Come on. Oh yeah. Nice bluegill there. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful fish right there. Tell you what, we had a blast today. Even when the bite is tough, just doing what we showed you to do today, dropping down to smaller baits and just barely shaking those baits. When you have clear water and you have clear ice, the conditions can be tough. But if you wait them out and you're patient, you could end up with a really good day just like we did. Hey, thanks so much for joining us. We're going to be on the road somewhere, someplace next week, hopefully with another great adventure. Until then, I'm Jim Crowley. God bless you. We'll see you soon. I got, oh, come on. No, oh my goodness. Look at that. It's like one, but smaller. That is, you better get the camera real close for that thing. I didn't even know he was on there. I think my jig bit him.